to Shoot Time in the Morning
with Mitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another wonderful episode of Shoot Time in the Morning with Mitch. We are here to give you guys educational knowledge. We've been doing great so far. Keep on working hard. Keep on pushing through. We are getting all the knowledge you can in this unique environment that we can be a part of. All right. We know that there's a shelter in place, trying to keep everybody healthy, and we're doing everything digital to try to bring you the best education that we can. All right. In building upon our knowledge of the muscle system, the muscular system, the anatomy that we're learning, we are going to move to the next muscle. All right. Remember, so far we have learned the trapezius, which runs on both sides from your neck to your shoulder. We have the deltoids, which are the shoulder muscles themselves, and move the arm across the ball and socket every which direction. All right, 3 heads, front, lateral, rear. We have the pectoralis major, right? That brings the arms in front of the body, right? Now, just because I'm sitting up, remember if I'm facing downwards, like in a push-up position, that's still the front of my body. So that's why the push-up works the pectoralis major or the chest. Conversely, if we're in the weight room, the bench press is the same motion. All right, last video, we learned about the tricep muscle. The tricep muscle is the back of your arm. It extends the arm at the elbow joint. Well, if it extends, something has to flex or bend the arm at the elbow joint. And as we kind of alluded to last week, it is the bicep muscle. All right? The bicep actually, for whatever reason, in the bodybuilding world and the American diaspora, has become the muscle most closely associated with when someone says, hey, flex your muscle. They usually show you a bicep muscle. All right? The bicep muscle is the top of your arm. It bends the arm at the elbow joint. If you can picture, this is a bunch of fibers on both sides. As it contracts or gets shorter, it pulls that bone, joint, bone, pulls that bone towards the bone and shortens the joint. And then the tricep muscle is responsible for then extending. All right? Now, if the motion is flexing the arm at the elbow joint, you just do that motion and you add some resistance to it, and that is how you can strengthen the bicep muscle. The most common one that you will see in the gym is the bicep curl. All right? Once again, we have our trusty backpack here because you guys all have backpacks or bags, but you can use anything. You could use a bucket. You could use a weight. All right? We all have backpacks, so I'm going to use a backpack. Now, all you're going to do is make sure that your body is balanced. Make sure it's rigid and straight. And the only muscle that is going to move, only joint that's going to bend, is your elbow joint. You bend at the bicep, and we are bending all the way through. All right? You don't have to swing. You don't want to cheat and try to put momentum into the bicep curl. You just want to bend at the elbow joint, and that will work your bicep. You do that 10 times, and then you switch. Remember, you have two biceps. You got to work both of them equally. Okay? So anything you do to one side, you got to do to the other side. You do 10 there, that's 1 set. Remember, starting with 3 sets of 10. So, you have our bicep muscle, which bends the arm at the elbow joint. The other exercise that is wonderful for working the biceps, we don't have a pull-up bar in here to show you, is the chin-up. All right? Now, the difference between a chin-up and a pull-up is your hand position. A pull-up, your palms are facing away from the body, and you're going to pull upwards and a motion to get your chin above a bar. The chin-up is hands facing the body, and the same exact thing. You're going to pull yourself up and chin above the bar. When you guys come back here, especially my class, we're definitely going to do those. But great for the bicep. Why? Because if you look at it, when I'm pulling myself up towards the bar, what is my elbow doing? It's bending. So I'm flexing the arm at the elbow joint, that means my bicep is getting to work. Now, we don't just tell you guys to work out and go eat a cupcake and sit down and put our feet up. That's not what we do. Remember, this healthy stuff we're trying to teach you is something that we hope that you take forward for the rest of your entire lives. Whether you decide to be a doctor, a scientist, an athlete, a helicopter pilot, whatever you choose to be, wonderful. None of us is going to judge you on that. All we simply want is for you to be that, become that, and able to enjoy life and maneuver healthily for a very long time. Now, that means right now, you're going to have to start learning about this stuff. The key is you're going to have to put into play when you are the person responsible for making your own PE routine. Right now you have either Mr. Mitchell, myself, or Mr. Moore that's telling you, hey, let's do this. We're building a routine. We're kind of teaching you stuff as you go. When you're older, when you're in college especially, and then when you're maybe late 20s and you maybe start a family of your own, all right? It's going to be your responsibility to figure out how to stay in shape. Now, an example of that is you look at your very own household. And now I'm not judging anybody in your household. Whatever happens, that's their business. But if you think about it, you've all had PE class at least last year. If you take your PE class last year and you just think about it, put your mind in there, well, that's pretty much what most PE classes look like. I was a Bret Hart Bronco, all right? People that were around when I was in 7th grade PE and 8th grade PE, they pretty much looked exactly the same. Maybe some were taller, some were shorter, some were girls, some were boys, some were stronger, some were skinnier, and that's about it. But I can tell you, having gone through college, having gone through adulthood now, when I look at some of those people that were in great shape when I was a Bret Hart Bronco, and I look at them now, some of them are still in great shape. Many of them have let themselves go a little bit, but they're still okay. They might be holding on. And some of them, due to whether it's being a desk job or just life happening, they gained a lot of weight, or they're not able to move. They haven't taken care of themselves. So the goal is to get you guys to understand this is a lifelong journey, and we want you to be the healthiest. All right? We like to each take time to talk about our own individual plans. And my plan, what I do for a workout, I really enjoy doing weightlifting. I do. I like to go in the weight room, lift weights. I have a very, very planned and detailed workout routine. I do squats for my legs with weights 3 times a week, and then I bench press, I do pull-ups, I do ab work, I do a bunch of different things. And that's the necessity thing I need to keep my muscles strong. But what I do in the real world, all right, what you guys should also do for my cardio, my health, my lungs, my ability to breathe, I really like to go hiking, all right, whether that's at Quicksilver or I go hiking in the Santa Teresa Hills. That is something that I really do enjoy. Now, you got to find things, and it's up to you. Everyone's taste is different. Find things that will be utilized for your liking that are able to keep you in shape. If you like hiking, it's a great exercise. If you like biking, it's a great exercise. If you like jogging, I don't. I'm more like a cheetah. I like sprinting. I don't like jogging. But if you like jogging, that's great too. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone's good at some things, and everyone's better at other things. All right? So, those are things that you can do. I also enjoy swimming, especially on a hot day. I would like to get out and swim. It's a great activity to stay in shape. But you got to find things that are detailed, that essentially may be challenging to you, but that you enjoy. Not something that you're going to hate and never do because it's something that doesn't motivate you. Now, I'm just going to ask you to think about it to yourself. Do you have an older brother or sister? Do you have a mom and dad at home with you, or a uncle or aunt or grandmother or grandfather? Somebody that exercises a lot? What do they do? What kind of things do they do that you might think, hey, I'd like to do that you can join them on? I know many of you said that you went on runs with your family and done hiking. That's excellent. But try to expose yourself to as much as possible and see what you can find. Mr. Mitchell, what kind of things do you do to stay healthy?
All right. Well, let me put a little chronology on this. When I was your age, I played sports all the time, non-stop, until it got dark. I would play sports all the time. The parents would be my father would whistle for me. You know that whistle? That was my father. And he would whistle for me when it got dark, and I knew it was time to get home. So basketball, football, baseball, we were playing it all, just like many of you are doing now. In my 20s, I was a runner. I loved to run. I lived in San Francisco. I'd run the Marina Green. I'd run to the bridge and back. It was beautiful. I also worked out. I liked weights, like Mr. Schumann. Weights were a big part. You know, different clubs, different health clubs, doing bench pressing, working my biceps, with curls and all kinds of things, okay? So now we get into my 30s, and I start getting into biking. And I would ride my road bike. I'd ride up Hicks all the way up to Umanum and things like that, and do nice, beautiful 15, 20-mile rides. Challenge myself with a couple thousand feet climbs and things like that. And in my 40s, I started to get into hiking. And I mean, the Bay Area for hiking is just beautiful. The redwoods are just unbelievable. Big Basin. Oh, every time I go to Big Basin, Fall Creek, there are some beautiful redwood hikes. And beautiful hikes right around here. In fact, I hike down by Almond Lake all the time. And, you know, that's an easy little 5-miler. It's flat. If it's rained the day before, you can hike Almond because you know the pavement's going to be dry. Los Gatos has that creek trail. These are little local flat things where you can do 5. I try to do 5. I try to do 5 miles of hiking a day. And then once I finish my 5 miles of hiking, I usually try and do some core workouts, because if you think about your core, it's all about the core. It's all about your abs. It's all about your trunk. It's all about strengthening that part of your body. So, you know, bird dogs, planks, things like that. I could do a good hour with a core workout also. So you give me a 5-mile hike and then an hour of core. Give me that 3 times a week. Throw in a good healthy diet of a lot of salads and fish and chicken and things like that. And that's probably what I'm up to right now. Doing the healthy eating, the good night's sleep, the core workout, the cardio workout with a really good hike. And that's usually my routine to stay in shape.
Mr. Mitchell, you make me want to get up and shake it. Whoa, boy! You talk about motivating. Woo! Well, I played sports too since I was 7 or 8 years old, and even before that, I have 2 older brothers. So I was playing at 3, 4 years old, always trying to outdo my brothers. Never really able to do that until we got a little bit older. Then it got a little bit more even. But I played baseball, football, and basketball all the way through middle school, and did some wrestling. And I may have been more of a wrestler than a football and baseball player. But in 7th grade, I wrestled guys, and then in 8th grade, I couldn't find a coach. And that happens here at Bret Hart sometimes. Every once in a while, they can't find a wrestling coach, so there's no wrestling. So my 8th grade year, I did not wrestle. Then I went to high school, played football and baseball. College, played football and baseball. Then I got into the professional life where I got a job, and I started teaching special ed over in L3. If you haven't noticed, we're in the climbing room now. L3 is over there, and I taught 8 years in that classroom. And I remember something you said, Mr. Shoemake, earlier. Some of your friends from middle school are in good shape now. Some are kind of average. Some have sat on the couch and ate chocolate bars and got out of a routine, and you can tell. No one's perfect. But we don't want you falling off the edge of the cliff and stop working out. That happened to me for about a year when I was teaching special ed in the classroom. I was done playing competitive sports. I had a job. I had a small baby, had a wife at home, and I quit working out for about a year. And I remember I just felt yucky. And then I said to myself, I'm going to start jumping rope. So that's one thing I did for about a year. In L3, it had a linoleum floor. And I got up to about 1,200 jumps. I'd do reps of 100. And you might think, well, that's easy. Well, try it. It's not too easy. And I got pretty good and quick at it. Then I moved into the PE department, started teaching PE. Now I had a more generalized movement into working out because of the weight room and the cardio room. So for my workouts, presently, I'll try to work out my whole body, and I do different things on different days. But basically, you're working the calf, you're working the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, your core at some points. I do a lot of burpees. I love burpees. So That's something that I've been doing for probably about 10 years pretty faithfully. Mr. Shooter, you mentioned something too. Also, swimming is one of the better exercises. I don't do enough of it, but there's been times we've been in the pool doing some exercises, but I don't do enough of swimming, but maybe that's something I can start doing. So, working out is so important for me physically, but not only physically, guys, but emotionally and psychologically. One thing I'll do, try this. I'll do a set of burpees, which is 5 burpees, and then if I'm here at school and I have some work to do, I might take my attendance in between sets, and I'll do another 5 burpees. Then I might do something else I need to do, especially at home. I'll do a set of burpees, I'll vacuum half of the room. I'll do another set of burpees, vacuum the other half. Do another set of burpees, dust the table. Try that at home. Do a set of 10, 15 push-ups that Mr. Shoemake showed you on another video, and then clean half your room. Do another set, clean the other half. Do another set, take out the trash. By the time you're done working out, you're done with your chores. So be responsible. And the last thing I'll say to you regarding this, sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. My favorite times to work out are here at Bret Hart in October, November, when it's daylight savings time and it's getting dark almost right after school, soon after school ends, and no one else is here and it's cold. I'm in the weight room, and I just get it done, and I feel really good after I get out of the shower.
You know, this morning while you're talking about this, and I'm realizing how much of a mental relief it is when I work out, how much stress I go through in a given day, and how just a really, really good hike or a good workout in a weight room, I just come out and my mind feels so much more relaxed. It's amazing how much a good workout or a good hike will take that stress and it'll just alleviate so much of it.
It will. It affects you not only physically, but in all other categories of your humanity. So, one last thing before I ask you guys another question. Stiffen that upper lip and suck it up, Buttercup. Sometimes you just got to bite that lip and say, I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. Work out, stay healthy. Question for you guys. After talking about working out, kind of an odd question, but interesting. Don't eat them all the time, but every once in a while is okay. What's your favorite, Mr. Shoemake, your favorite sweet treat?
Well, kind of an odd thing to talk about after working out. But here's the deal. I've been doing pretty good. I haven't eaten recently, but every once in a while on Halloween, when there's a plethora floating around, I would have to say, if you had me last year, you know this, and everyone who's had me should know this. My favorite candy of all time are Swedish fish. All right? Now, that doesn't mean that I eat them regularly, but I will tell you, in my day, I've been known to do some damage. I will tell you a story about one time, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. I was hanging out with some friends in San Francisco. We went to Ocean Beach for a bonfire at night, and there's Albertsons, now I think Lucky, right across the street. And we went there and they had a sale on the big 6-pound bag of Swedish fish. Every now and then you gotta give in. And look, don't do this too often, folks. I ate an entire 6-pound bag of Swedish fish. I love this stuff. What are you gonna do?
It's a big bag, Mr. Shoemake.
It's a big bag. It's a big bag. All that is to say is, I'm not big on sweets. I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't have a lot of cravings. But if they're there, I will eat Swedish fish. I like them. What can I say?
Mr. Mitchell, how about your favorite sweet treat?
Sweet treat? A good oatmeal raisin cookie. The soft ones. I know, you guys, you kids, you probably don't remember Mrs. Fields. In fact, I don't know how long ago. It's been a long time since the Mrs. Fields has been around.
Yes.
But they make that big, soft oatmeal raisin cookie. Oh. I love a good oatmeal raisin cookie.
There are times sometimes when someone from off campus will bring food on campus for us teachers, and Mr. Mitchell has asked me if I say I'm going to get some, he'll say, hey, if there's oatmeal cookies, bring me 1 or 2. And I've got to say something about Mr. Shoemake. 40 minutes ago, he had a big bag of Swedish fish in his locker. And he said, hey, do you want them? I said, yeah, and he gave it to me. So I'm consuming some of them from him. But it all goes to my bicep, you know what I mean? Right here.
Mr. Moore, what is your favorite sweet treat?
Well, the Swedish fish were very tasty. Not my favorite. but very tasty. But my most favorite sweet treat is a Hershey bar with almonds. Cool, not frozen, not room temperature, but put in the fridge for about half an hour. I could eat a number of those depending on the size.
All right. Well, guys, we're not encouraging you to eat junk food at all times. Put everything in moderation. If you're working out and you're doing well, you've earned the right to have some sweet treats from time to time. What is your favorite sweet treat? Be sure and let us know, okay? Now, remember, this is all about being healthy. It's all about learning how to grow and strengthen yourself, all right? Remember, afterwards we shower. Why do we shower? Because we're trying to clean ourselves. That's another act of healthiness and having proper hygiene. We learned about our tricep today. We learned about all of our personal plans. And remember last time we learned about the importance of sleep. We will also learn about nutrition in the future video. Okay?
Roll call!
Woo! That'll wake you up in the morning.
Or the afternoon!
Why are we doing this, guys?
We're going to build out the relationship. You know how we do that? Through HR squared. Honesty, respect, responsibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're doing well out there. Keep on. We know we're getting to a point where you got to buckle down, all right? Got a lot of work coming from other places. It's a digital environment we're getting to do the best we can. This will all be over soon. Sometimes in life you have peaks on roller coasters, and sometimes you have downs on the roller coasters. Peaks and valleys all over the place. Just keep on pushing through and be the best you that you can be. Push on 3. 1, 2, 3. Push!